Call to order. The voting meeting, July 16th is open. Steph, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, of course. Councilmember Chmielewski.
Present.
Councilmember Cerna.
Here.
Councilmember Barton.
Here.
Councilmember Elam.
Here.
We'll note that Councilmember Fry is absent. Vice President Kingsley.
Here.
And note that President Sokolowski is absent. Mayor Aronson.
Here.
Thank you.
Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Council President's announcements. There were no public comments received following the June 18th voting session or regarding the July 16th voting session. Is there any public comment on any of the agenda items for tonight? Okay. Hearing none, we'll just go with the presentations. So we're going to conduct interviews for the Redistricting Task Force, and the first interview will be Brian Magram from Ward 1. Brian, can you come up? Okay.
Good evening. I'm Brian McGran.
Hi, Brian.
Are there questions, or do you want me
We
to
do.
go either way? Sure.
So why do you want to be a member of this task force?
So I think, obviously, I've been involved with a lot of different committees in the borough over the last 10 years. I have a good sense of where the borough's been. My family's been in town for over 100 years. I myself intend to stay for as long as I'm healthy and able to be here. So I think that I want to be able to keep contributing to the community. And I think what we've seen, and I was at the last council meeting when they were actually talking about the current districts, and it seems like there's kind of an unbalance to it in terms of where the community's grown, where it's kind of stayed the same. So I think based on my involvement with the other committees, working with the mayor, I have a good sense of where the community's going in terms of where the development's happening. I know the people we need to talk to in terms of getting the data that we need to be able to make accurate projections, or as close as possible, to do a balanced redistricting of those wards.
It's incredibly unbalanced, especially in Ward 1. And based on the 2020 census, that's what we're going to work with. It's become even more imbalanced since then with the 3 new apartment buildings that have sprung up along there. So we will add them in. But you did a great job with the fireworks and the Kaboom Kid. I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you. We raised over $1,000 for the Marywood Park House.
Yeah.
So we were very proud of that. We did it on a pretty quick turnaround too. A few little hiccups, obviously, with Walt Hartnett, who was helping to lead the project, passing a month before. But we're appreciative of everybody that was able to help. Obviously, the borough admin staff, the public works, public safety, everybody that came together. We got a lot of really positive feedback. We met with the Friends of the Parks last week, something we definitely want to do again in terms of the Kaboom Kid raffle as a way to benefit the Marywood Park House. And then we're also exploring some opportunities around potential corporate sponsorships tied to the fireworks themselves, because we did get a few small corporate donations as part of that campaign. So that can be discussed later, but overall we were happy with our initial year doing that.
So as far as the redistricting, I mean, what do you think would be the most important thing as far as how would you slice it up if you knew?
Well, obviously the most obvious thing is that we need a balancing of the population. And I think we need to look at where the changes have happened from that 2020 census, but also the new development that's going to be coming online in the next few years based on approved developments or developments that are already under construction. So obviously we want to get there. I think we also want to be mindful a little bit of the property tax base, and realizing that we don't want, say, 90% of the property tax, of the tax base represented by one representative. So that means we need to be mindful a little bit of, maybe spreading some of the major businesses into multiple wards, so that it isn't just we've got one representative that's 80% of the tax base, but kind of trying to blend that in. And then also trying to be logical of, how can we logically group the neighborhoods, we don't want these, excuse me. We've all seen the maps of the very gerrymandered, and there's a little isthmus that goes here and there. I think we want it to be, feel like neighborhoods are grouped together so that the person that's representing those neighborhoods is actually in that neighborhood. They're out and about amongst their constituents.
All right. It wouldn't-
Brian,
Oh, go ahead.
excuse me, I'm sorry. Do you see us crossing over Fayette with some of the wards?
I think we need to look at that and see. I think we need to look at the numbers of, obviously the easiest dividing lines are the major roads. So
Right.
Fayette Street being the most logical dividing line for us. So I think we need to look at where the population, especially along the riverfront, falls in terms of whether it makes sense to put that all together or divide that into the different pockets and kind of making sure that's addressed in the new wards that we develop.
Brian, you were on the Comprehensive Plan Task Force and the Fayette Street zoning overlay. Is there anything you can take from those and maybe into consideration as you maybe move forward onto this?
We obviously, the nice thing about the Comprehensive Plan Task Force, which was almost 10 years ago, is actually we're seeing it come to fruition, and we're seeing, the pocket parks popping up. We're starting to see some new businesses pop up, those types of things that were part of that plan, the walkability of the community. You go look at Fayette Street on any given night. There's people out and about all over. So seeing those things, it's nice that the work we've actually done gets implemented and is actually moving forward. So I would think the lessons for me would be, I've met everybody. You start to meet the people and say, oh, we need data on this. Well, I know who to go to that will be able to get us to, or I can talk to this person, they'll tell us who to call. That type of thing. So you're not really going in as blind of like, well, here's what we've got. We don't have anything more. Let's pull in those extra data sources and do as good of a job as we can. It's not going to be perfect, but that would be, the biggest thing that I've taken away from that involvement.
Thank you.
Anybody else questions?
Brian, just congratulations to your addition to your family.
Oh, thank you.
Have you had a chance to look at Dave's redistricting app?
I have not had time to play with the app. I have a 6-week-old baby. So it was a crazy month. He was born May 31st. Walt passed a couple days later, and then we had the Kaboom kid. So my June was a little bit sideways. I did see a little bit of it when they did the presentation. I work in technology. My previous work at FEMA, I did work where we were doing data population mapping, kind of overlaying it with disaster damages, but I've done that type of work where we're putting together maps and figuring out who's where and what the impacts are of those things. So I'm confident that we could figure it out or arrange a tech call with them if we need to get the software to work and do what we need to do.
Awesome, thank you.
Good question.
That it? Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Okay, so the next interviewee is John Droids from Ward 6. Are you here, John? Oh,
If you guys know my mom from what she was
I know the name, I just didn't know how to say it.
Yeah, Droz, Jonathan Droz.
Drews.
Ward 6.
Ward 6, thanks
Yeah,
for,
I'll actually say where I'm at. The lowest end of Conshohocken.
the best end of country.
Yeah.
Oh, don't go there.
Yeah, you can start fights on that one.
Whoa. We keep it peaceful up there.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in, and again, why are you interested in being on this task
Well,
force?
also,
Right.
grown up here, I haven't left 10th Avenue. Outside schooling, but family is traced back to almost 100 years too, so generational living here. Grew up here, seen it come from nothing to where it's at now. I do see where we're at with the wards, and yes, we do need a change, and I think we can maybe take some ideas from around us, from Plymouth, White Marsh, maybe West Country, Upper Marion, try to incorporate that to see how they've operated. The mapping idea is great too. I know you were asking about what we can do. I think an at-large position would be good. I think we need someone that can overall do a representation of the whole populace. I've seen that's probably one of our little bit of the weakness of the ward system is everyone's locked into their territory. And I know, Anita, I can go to you, but I think at-large, because some people don't know that. Some people, I think that sometimes maybe newer people here, they get locked out of that idea, or they're like, who I've seen online, who's my ward person? And you have to put the map up, but maybe if there's the at-large position, they can say, oh, there's the main person outside the president, but I also have my ward rep too. I think that would be something to look into.
Well, one of the things that we're looking to do is make more than one map. I mean, we'll have,
Oh, yeah.
hopefully, so we'll have, I think we want 3 ideas, and then council will vote on which one is the best. So that can be one of the ideas. Ward 6 being a rather small, I was surprised that Ward 6 and 7 had so little population.
I do.
Well, 6 has,
Well, we don't have
no,
apartment
6 is
buildings.
good. 1,151 residents as of 2020 census. I guess, did you get a chance to look at the Dave's redistricting?
No.
Everybody will get a packet in
Yeah,
it.
I would appreciate the data.
It's
but-
very easy to use, and the gentleman who was in here a month or so ago, he did a sample one, because once you get in there, you can play with it and move it around.
Yeah.
The idea for making the wards is to make them as continuous as possible, as contiguous as possible. So you're not having like a little island here just to get the numbers, to try to balance it out the best you can. How about, anybody would like to ask?
Yeah, could you, John, could you talk about your professional experience and some things that you do or have done in your professional life that you think you'll bring over to this task
Yeah,
force?
so unfortunately, my last position, I was a project release manager for Chubb Insurance. I watched like Conshohocken, I watched something grow from a project that was only 15 million in revenue to we were making 400 by the time my contract was up. So from that, I've learned how to, with the communications across the board, dealing with a whole bunch of different people, bring in data that we're going to have to do, how to use it, how to actually properly communicate to people that may not fully understand it, and then interpret it and present it.
Okay.
I can also talk about my volunteer side. Current lieutenant at Plymouth Fire Company down the street. I have served at Spring Mill. I have served at Conshohocken, and Westchester when I was in school. So dealing with pressure a little bit here. So know how to deal with that too, and high stakes situations, which this can be for us. It's a big project for this borough.
Thank you.
It is, it's extremely important, and it's, we also talked about that the numbers will change again in the new 2030 census will give us maybe some more insight. So maybe we'll be doing it again 4, 6, 8 years down the road, but it needs to be done now because it is incredibly unbalanced.
Yeah, agree. Yeah.
Anybody, any questions?
Have you always lived in Ward 6?
Yep. 200 block, now 400 block. Not moved.
Could you tell me a little bit of how you're familiar with the other wards?
I would say from maybe being in a couple buildings when people have emergencies, you're learning about your neighbors. I actually do have remembrance of when my mom was working at the police station and O'Neill was starting to build the Millennium Project. We went down for the launch party. I remember that vividly. So seeing that turn in from the old factories, the steel mills, to now where we have what it's called, Riverwalk now. I always get lost with the names anymore. They change. But even the upper wards, seeing the transformations on the Upper East Side with the A field being renovated, the future emergency services building that's just about to break ground. So seeing even the lower end too, parishioner of the former St. Mary's, not the current version, but watching the apartments go up across, from parking lots to old row homes to now. So vivid memories of seeing everything being built and just looking at me like, oh boy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for coming in, John.
Thanks, everyone.
There won't be a vote tonight, but we're still looking for more volunteers. We haven't had anybody step up in wards 2, 4, or 5. I'm in Ward 5. I talked to people, but somehow they feel that it's just too much. I don't know why, but we're still taking applications if anybody's interested. Okay, so moving on, land use matters. So we're going to conduct a public hearing on a petition to vacate a paper street associated with the Italian bakery and consider adopting ordinance 022025, vacating and abandoning the paper street. Mr. Peters, could you take over, please?
Sure. So this is the scheduled date and time for a hearing on the vacation of a certain paper street in the form of an alleyway to the rear of 607 and 613 Spring Mill Avenue. Borough exhibits are B1, the proof of publication, B2, the proof of mailed notice via regular and certified mail that went to the affected individuals, which were only the Italian bakery. And because you can see on the plan that's up there, although it does not abut the property to the right there, I did send notice to that individual because it's kind of catty-cornered, just so they were also aware of the vacation. B3 is the ordinance to be adopted if you choose to vacate the street, and that ordinance attaches the plan that's up on the screen here, and also a legal description of the area to be vacated. Based on the borough's records, the borough never actually opened this street, so it remains a paper street. That has certain relevance as a matter of law, but in terms of the bakery's work to clean up this property and to clean up the plans for the property, and I don't mean that in a physical way, I mean in terms of how the parcels are separated throughout the building. As you know, through the waiver of land development, they're going to clean that up so it's located entirely on one parcel. That required vacation of this small area that is shown on the map as, quote, proposed alley vacation. That would clean up that area. It would be very clear moving forward that that area is part of the Italian bakery property, and as a general matter, that area, that paper street has been treated as part of those properties for a very long time now. So all you are considering is vacation of the small area that's indicated on the plan, and again, it's behind properties owned by the Italian bakery.
Anybody have any questions on that?
Just to be thorough, what would happen if we didn't do this?
Yeah, there'd be a cloud hanging over it. So it wouldn't be clear from a title company's standpoint whether or not, as an operation of law, it's already reverted back to this property or not. By vacating it, they'll then be able to record a deed that incorporates this small piece of the property as part of their property. So the answer is, on the ground, nothing changes. From a title standpoint, this area would continue to be unclear as to who owns it. So that's why, even though the borough never opened it, that's why we still go through with a vacation. So then a deed can be recorded, they can get title insurance on it, and we can move forward with cleaning this up. You guys see this, we haven't seen it in a little while, but often with developments in the borough, you run into these paper street issues. And rather than allowing the paper street to remain and it being unclear who owns it, many developers ask for them to be vacated. And as long as it's clear that the borough did not open it and it's in the borough's best interest, we normally will do it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And just, Alan, that's just basically an alleyway that was never used. It was allowed one twin access to go out around the other twin to go out to the street. And it's been chopped off from the residential section for probably 20 years since they built the bakery into it.
Yeah. I mean, guys, with the potential redevelopment of some properties in the, because you're going to start to see infill development now rather than these larger developments, we're going to run into it quite a bit.
We did one a couple years ago, Corson Street.
We did.
A couple. Okay, any other questions? Okay, can I get a motion to adopt ordinance 022025, vacating and abandoning the paper street identified on the land development plan for the Conshohocken Italian Bakery?
If we could just very briefly, just
Oh, sure.
because of the public hearing aspect of this.
I'm sorry, you're right.
No, that's totally fine. Steph had to remind me, so you shouldn't feel bad. Is there any public comment on this particular hearing? Okay, we'll let. Oh, go ahead, please. Yeah. Just name and address again for the record.
Brian McGran, 314 Fayette Street. So, this scenario, I'm not personally involved at all. I know that this was a family business that was in the community for over 50 years. They kind of dealing with some family health issues, which is why they had to sell the business. So this would be one of those things, and we think, we've all heard, everyone loved the Country Italian Bakery. They were able to sell it to, or proposed, they're able to, the new people coming in are supposedly going to be operating as a bakery. So I think that's, for the community, that's positive, that they're able to do that. It's not just going to be more condos and townhouses and those things. It's something that's actually going to be creating jobs in the community, keeping people here, giving somebody a point of pride. So I think we want to be mindful that this was a long-time family business. They were always very generous with the different organizations in the community. And from that perspective, I would say, as a member of the public, we should work with them to kind of, let them transition the business as they want.
Thank you. Okay.
Anything else?
Anybody else?
Okay. No other public comments, so it is appropriate for a vote this evening if you're inclined.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Okay, can I have a motion to adopt Ordinance 022025, vacating and abandoning the paper street identified on the land development plan for the Conshohocken Italian Bakery?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda is presentation on a preliminary final land development application for 113 West 8th Avenue, Ratoskey and Trainor applicant. Mr. Ratoskey, could you come up and tell us what it's all about?
Yep. I'll try to be as quick as possible, like we were with the planning commission. So there's a property that it has a existing, it looks like a twin house, but like one part of the house is residential, one was still in, we'll say, an ongoing commercial. It was the old hairdresser. Then the other one is the little tiny house that got hit by a car a long time ago and was condemned. And so we're trying to figure out the best way to do everything here. So we went through zoning. We got the zoning approval for setbacks and whatnot. Unfortunately, we have to go back to zoning because we ran out time limit wise. But I would love for that rule to change so we don't have to do the whole zoning thing all over again. But so right now what we did is we did the plans. We tried to do the easy way, the short way for the stormwater and land development. We were a little bit over the minimum square footages, so we had to do the full land development, which then opened up all these other avenues of things we have to do. So then in the delays of that is, we were on target to be done, but as soon as we had to go the full land development, we then had to get perk tests done. And like every time you schedule something, it just takes time, So, we ran out of the year's time frame. So, I think, we're next week we'll be going in front of the zoning hearing board for that again, to ask for another renewal. We're hoping by end of August, maybe up by September. We already have all the plans actually submitted for the property, the sprinkler plans, the rest of the plans. The land development is the last part of this. So at this point, we got all the review letters. We were happy, or we were able to comply with all those letters. It could be conditional approval, based upon that we can comply with everything in the reviews. And then we just did have a small list of waivers. Like all land development, there's always a couple waivers listed, and I believe you got copies of them. Right. Most of them have to do with, if we put a wall up, you have to put a fence up in between the two property lines. Well, we already have a partial wall, so we want to do a partial fence, but we don't want to do a full-size fence because then it'll be a 12-foot fence. So, it's going to be like a 4-foot wall and a 4-foot fence. We have to do grading along the property line. It's a very tiny lot, and we just have to do the grading, what we have to do. There's parking in the back, so we're adding off-street parking, which there was never parking on this project or on this property before. In doing so, to access it, we only have 20-foot for our lane, and it calls for 24-foot, so we need a waiver for that. And then the last one is because we do full land development, we'd ask, we can't give up 10% of the land for park and rec or fee in lieu of, so, we're not adding any more units. We're actually going from a commercial and 2 residential to all residential, so we're making it a less intense use. So, and we're not subdividing and making more units or anything. So in that case, we thought it was appropriate to ask for the waiver for the park and rec. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, they're spelled out in detail. We're interested to get going, and we would love to just keep on moving along.
So basically, you're knocking down those 2 buildings and putting up a 3-story apartment building.
Correct, yes. And this way, the offset, it'll be set back to match the existing houses that are there. It's going to look like one of the other properties that are on that block as well. Back in the days when they built that little house, I mean,
Right.
And it was the old penny store. I used to go get my candy there as a kid and all.
Have you had any comments from the people that have the house that's set back in?
I've been in contact with the one neighbor next door with her that has the garage next door. And she's looking forward for that, I think, to happen as well. She actually called me the other day. She has to do some work on her garage, and we're giving her access to be able to make sure she can have that work done. And so there hasn't been anything negative,
I actually read through the zoning hearing board from last year, and there were, in fact, neighbors across the street that were very complimentary about the project. They were probably tired of looking at these 2
Yes.
Empty places?
dated
Yeah.
buildings.
It was sort of like a
Yeah.
hodgepodge of things. I mean, but, back in the day, it's just the way it was. But now, and we always say, when you have the opportunity, because originally we were going to go ahead and do a little house, tiny house, because that's like the new trend. Everyone's doing the tiny houses. And we're like, we'll rebuild that house. And then finally we're like, do you have any other ideas? And we're like, okay, let's think of it a little bit further. And this was a better end result, I believe. And, when you have the opportunity to do something like this, if you spend money on it, you'll be going to be upside down, and you'll never be able to go back. So this is the perfect opportunity to start fresh, and you get new units, off-street parking. It matches the neighborhood a lot better. It's just some technical internal delays when it comes to trying to get everything approved.
Right, so that property never had off-street parking before.
Never, no.
The alley, because I walked around there the other day, the alley you can only get in from Maple, and it ends basically right at your property, but you've built into the back of the property to use it. And then the house on the other side has a driveway, so it's not really
It's a
affecting.
dead end, so when it comes to the width of the driveway, you're really only going to be dealing with your own people that are living in that unit.
Right, so there'll be 6 spots for 3 apartments.
Yeah. Yep.
Stephanie, doesn't our fence rule go to 6 feet, not 8? I don't think you can put an 8-foot.
Well, it might have said a 6-foot fence, but we were going to do a 4-foot fence just because we're putting it on top of a retaining wall.
It's just the way that the fence is being installed.
Yeah.
He's asking.
Right.
He's not
4
going,
foot.
he's not going around like the zoning requirement.
No, I'm just checking.
He's having to ask because it doesn't specifically meet the zoning requirement.
So a couple little rules here that are always like,
I know.
all right, so you got to ask,
He
yeah.
also reviewed the project.
Okay.
So anything that required a waiver would have been
Okay.
singled out specifically, and then
All right, I'm just checking.
Rob's design, it's just the way that it's required to go on top of the wall. So he's
Just have to
complying.
keep him on his toes.
Let's,
Well, and we want to make sure too, that fence too is like if a car pulls in with their lights on, we don't want it shining in anybody else's property either, so.
so let's say you get your extension that you're going to be asking from zoning.
Yes.
When do you target to be finished construction?
The last thing we need right now is, because there's a 4-foot retaining wall, they measure from the bottom of the footer to the wall. Therefore, I got to get an engineer stamp on this little retaining wall. So that's our last holdup because we needed a structural engineer versus so I'm hoping to have all that by the end of this month if we get all the reviews and then we get the zoning and then you can ask for an extension. I'm not sure if that 30 days applies again to the extension or not. So we might have to wait another month before we could technically keep going. So, like I said, I'm hoping by September we can actually have the building plans in place, like permit in hand. As soon as we got permit in hand, we're going to get going.
How long do you think this project will take once you start building?
I'd love to say 6 months, because 5 to 6 months is a normal house. But since this is multifamily, I got to do 1 hour fire ratings, I got to put sprinklers in. Sometimes aqua is a little, because I got to do a second line for the sprinklers. So realistically, it's probably going to be 9 months from start to finish.
Have you done a project like this
We've done, yeah, plenty.
in Conshohocken or outside the borough?
Not in Conshohocken, no. We've done, I was an expert one time for a zoning hearing up in Schuylkill Township. We did over 150 properties, and we've worked on almost every block in Conshohocken at some point. But doing this one specifically, we haven't did one of these in Conshohocken, no.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, well, thank you for coming. There's no vote tonight. But you'll hear from us.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
Good luck Monday night.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is consider recommending to the zoning hearing board that an extension to the 113 West 8th Avenue project be granted for a maximum of 6 months. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, so can I get a motion to recommend to the zoning hearing board that an extension to the 118 West 8th Avenue project be granted for a maximum of 6 months?
113.
113 West, sorry.
I think on the application it said a year, just because I think that's the.
Yeah, no, they are requesting that it only be 6 months. Only
That's-
given where you are in the process, you should be.
Yeah, I just hate to be, if there's a holdup and I can't get a permit for something, I got to go back to the zoning hearing board again. Yeah,
Well,
I
I think you would have to.
And we only make recommendations. Zoning hearing board is totally independent, and as you well know, they do what they want to do. So they might not take our recommendation, they might take it.
Okay, I just didn't know where the 6 months came from, okay.
Yeah, they're not, you'll see, Ralph, they're not signaling you out there.
Oh, I want to keep moving too.
Right,
Oh,
right.
I would love to keep moving.
There's another one on the agenda later, too.
Okay.
So can I get a motion to recommend to the zoning hearing board an extension to the 113 West 8th Avenue project be granted for a maximum of 6 months?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Moving along. Okay, so now we'll get to the consent agenda. And items and business matters listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial and be enacted by one motion and one vote. There'll be no separate discussion. If a member of council desires so, then that item would be tabled. Okay, so approve and adopt the June 4th and June 18th regular meeting minutes and approve the June ending treasurer's report. So can I get a motion to approve and adopt the June 4th and June 18th regular meeting minutes?
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. I need a motion to approve the June ending treasurer's report and accounts payable in the amount of $1,027,619.77.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Under unfinished business, there is none. Under new business, consider recommending to the zoning hearing board that an extension to the 261-263 East Elm Street project be granted for a maximum of 6 months. So similar to what we just did, a motion to recommend to the zoning hearing board that an extension to the 261-263 East Elm Street project be granted for a maximum of 6 months.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. And for information, that zoning hearing board meeting for these two projects will be Monday, July 21st. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is consider approving resolution 2025-20, authorizing supplemental appropriations for emergency tree removal at Haynes and Salvetti Park and for an HVAC unit for the fitness center at the community center. Any questions on that?
Just what happened in the park?
The storm?
Yeah, there was that large storm that came through about probably 3 weeks ago now. And there was a lot of damage to the trees at Haynes and Salvati. Some of those trees are very close to actual houses. So we from an emergency perspective, took down the trees that needed to come down from the storm. We also did some investigating of other trees in the area that were slightly damaged. Any that potentially could pose any harm to the homes in the area were also removed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Glad we got that wood chipper.
Very true.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2025-20, authorizing supplemental appropriations to the fiscal 2025 budget in the amount of $25,000 for emergency tree removal at Haynes and Salvetti, and the amount of $13,835 for the emergency replacement of the HVAC unit for the fitness center at the community center?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, next thing on the agenda, consider approving Resolution 2025-21, approving plans and policies for the CDBG and home programs. Motion to, so could I get a motion to approve Resolution 2025-21, approving plans and policies for the CDBG and home programs?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. The next thing on the agenda, consider approving Resolution 2025-23, authorizing the sale of a police vehicle on municipal.
You skipped one.
Oh, did I miss it? I'm sorry.
Municipal winter traffic service, 2022.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we're going to back up here. Consider approving Resolution 2025-22, authorizing the execution of the municipal winter traffic services agreement with PennDOT.
Is that so we can plow?
Yeah, what's the,
Yeah.
explain that a little bit?
Okay.
Yeah, it basically, the agreement transfers the winter maintenance duties from our state roads from PennDOT to the borough, and then they pay us for those services.
Okay.
It's something we've done before with PennDOT?
Yes,
Perfect.
this is just a renewal.
Great.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2025-22, authorizing the execution of the municipal winter traffic services agreement with PennDOT?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, so now we'll go back to the municipal. Consider approving Resolution 2025-23, authorizing the sale of a police vehicle on municipal. And
Is this our regular depreciation schedule?
Yes, so it's one of the items with the bringing on these vehicles into the schedule. Old is being depreciated out.
And do we have that new vehicle arrival time? Is it here, coming?
It's here and it is being utilized on streets.
Fantastic.
so, could we get a motion to approve Resolution 2025-23, authorizing the sale of a police vehicle on municipal with a minimum bid of $5,000?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, next item, consider approving change order number 1 for the 2023 CDBG curb ramp installation project.
What's the change order?
There were field adjustments that needed to be made specifically to certain areas, curb, ramps, et cetera, that weren't part of the original project. So the change order is in the amount of $7,131.42. Those costs are completely covered by the grant.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
No.
Could I get a motion to approve change order number 1 for the 2023 CDBG curb ramp installation project in the amount of $7,131.42?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next item is consider approving payment application number 1 for the 2023 CDBG curb ramp installation project. Any questions? Okay. Could I get a motion to approve payment application number 1 for the 2023 CDGB curb ramp installation project in the amount of $44,165.95?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, next item is consider approving 124 West First Avenue Financial Security Escrow Release Number 3, final, in the amount of $9,686. So I'm looking for a motion to approve 124 West First Avenue Financial Security Escrow Release Number 3, final, in the amount of $9,686.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, so the next thing is consider approving 310 West Fifth Avenue Demolition Escrow Release Number 1, final, in the amount of $4,000 plus interest. So I'm looking for a motion to approve 310 West Fifth Avenue Demolition Escrow Release Number 1, final, in the amount of $4,000 plus interest.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, next item is consider approving a zoning escrow release for 201 West 6th Avenue. So I'm looking for a motion to approve a zoning escrow release for 201 West 6th Avenue in the amount of $414.42 plus interest.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
You have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. That looks like that's pretty much it. So do we have any public comment tonight on anything we talked about or anything else you'd like to talk about? Okay. Mr. Mayor, would you have anything you'd like to add tonight?
Always, yeah.
Oh, I should say, what do you want to add?
A busy few weeks here. We had our fireworks and soapbox derby at the beginning of the month. As always, I give a big thank you to our borough team here because it's a very busy couple days and very manpower intensive. But I think universally the fireworks were given good reviews by our residents. So I think we did a great job. And we had our first ever Kaboom Kid who, it was perfect. They pushed the button and the fireworks went off. It was awesome. The Friends of Conshohocken Parks did that to raise money for renovations at the Marywood Park House and raised more than $1,000 in just a few weeks. So hopefully they can continue to build on that as we move along. So thank you to them and thank you to our team. This is a different one. So we welcome the American Accordionists Association to West Conshohocken and Conshohocken. So Mayor Donnell and I went over, and it's actually their third year here. So we said, we should probably go to this thing and check it out. And it was really cool. Accordions from all over the world and throughout history, speakers, performances. They let us say a few words about Conshohocken and West Conshohocken. So really unique, very different, and their president told us that this is probably one of the most welcoming communities that they've been in, and they do this all over the country. So, so no surprise there, but it was really cool that we could attend this year.
Not to cut you off, but where was the event?
It was at the Marriott in West Conshohocken. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, you need to get them to come do concerts around town next year.
Donnell has one in her attic, so, it's very possible. We also, on Sunday, have Conshohocken Night at the Reading Phils. There's tickets at local businesses, Calls Frame Shop. I have a bunch if anyone wants to message me or shoot me a message. I believe we have some at the community center. We do. So they're around town. If anyone wants to go, they're free. And it's an awesome ballpark. It's easy to park.
Yes,
Everything's nice and cheap, not like Philly prices. So so it's a great night, and the weather's supposed to be amazing. So please join us. And then finally, we have our tradition that my wife Sarah and I started over COVID to support our local businesses, and it's been very popular, so we've just continued it post-COVID, giving out gift certificates to all our businesses as prizes. So this will be bingo at the VFW on August 21st. It's a Thursday night, and we will have celebrity guest callers, many of whom maybe with me up here on the dais, and local businesses and nonprofits. So it should be a really fun night as usual. So please join us. That's it for me.
Nothing, could you talk a little about the cornhole tournament? It's going to be at West Main for
Yes. So cornhole next Saturday.
next Saturday. Yeah, I wasn't sure the date.
The 26th.
It's being run by Team Foster, and it's $100 for a team. The proceeds will benefit the Hartnett family. So it's going to be at Hotel Westin Main in the courtyard. It should be a really fun time. You can look on my social media or on Team Foster's social media for registration information.
Thank you. Kate?
I just want to reiterate the mayor in saying that July 3rd, July 4th went off spectacularly, and Public Works, fire, police, ambulance, everybody who was there to support at the fireworks that night. It is a big production, and it's a big event for us in town. I think it went very well. Heard a lot of good things from the residents. They were very pleased with the show this year. And, soapbox derby as well. And good luck to all the racers that went, the 2 racers that went from town. They are racing, I believe, this week. So good luck to them. That's all I have. Thank you.
Nita?
You've got your twins in it next year.
Yes, they'll be in my garage on Monday.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, it's been a good month, and I appreciate all the help that we've had and things that are being done. I especially want to give a shout out to our crew of one man who has been painting the Marywood House. If you haven't been by it, please go by it. It's looking gorgeous. And a lot of work left to do, and hopefully more of it will be done in the coming months.
Yes, I just wanted to thank the police, the Conshohocken Police, and ourselves a little bit for funding radar or for license plate reader cameras. Because if you've kind of noticed on social media, the police have been putting out reports of like how they are catching stolen vehicles, and often finding out that there are other things in them, like potentially guns or paraphernalia or stolen items. So I really appreciate the police's ability to step up in those times whenever they do catch a car that has a bolo out on it, and they're able to like pull together the resources, even the drones, to make sure that they find like the criminals that are trying to come around our city. So
Just to add, I don't really have anything for tonight, but sorry I cut you
go
off.
ahead. No, go ahead.
These aren't crimes that are being committed in Conshohocken. These are people traveling through that are being caught by our police. So I just wanted to point that out, that there's
Yes.
no rise in crime in Conshohocken. We don't have an epidemic of any issues. Please correct me if I'm saying something wrong, Chief Lennon. But I think people see this sometimes and think it's Conshohocken. No, it's our police being proactive for criminals that are traveling through the borough.
And that these license plate readers are serving the purpose that we wanted, that if somebody's coming through Conshohocken, we're going to be able to quickly find them.
I'd
So-
like to add to that.
Go ahead.
Your reporting has been phenomenal. It is giving us an overview of what you're doing for us, and we appreciate it.
And for me, I also thank the police and the Public Works. I guess that's it. Anybody else? Meeting adjourned. Oh. Yeah. I know. That's my job to interrupt Tina, but that's fine.